What up, what up, what up, and welcome back to Pnoid News. Man, listen. Yo, we have memed it into existence. Mencious Moldbug, a.k.a. Curtis Yarvin, is talking to Tucker fucking Carlson. Son, we have reached peak 2021. This is amazing. Like, yo, the normies are gonna get to hear the internet speak. This is the best thing I've ever heard. Yo, let's get to it. Let's rock.
Oligarchic power structure of America, which is completely decentralized. There's no center to it anywhere. There's no there's no one you can point to. There's no race or class or little meeting of like protocols of the elders of Zion that's happening. Right. There's no conspiracy. It's completely decentralized. That's what makes it so hard to kill. And so when you look at the way this ruling class works and governs, it's a very different thing from these sort of abstractions that you learn in 11th grade civics class. And, and when you grow up in it, you feel it, extremely intensely. And so, for example, people will go and they'll vote for president, and they sort of vote as if who was sitting in the White House, was who was in power. And they'll use these terms like, Trump is in power, Biden is in power, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And it's like, guys, Americans, when you're inside the belly of this beast and you look at the White House as an organization, and the White House is not even really properly controlled by the president. The White House's whole budget and organization is set by Congress. It's full of permanent employees. It's not even, but if you look at the White House as a whole and measure its kind of relevance to the normal process of the executive branch, of the actual government that people like our parents lived and worked in, you're like, it has almost no relevance at all. In the deep state, as Americans, it's a Turkish word that Americans have learned to use. It's a great word. In the deep state, the way you regard this election, this stupid, really ceremony that happens over there, that's like there's a clown show for the clowns. It's like a storm on the surface above a coral reef. You're a fish in the reef. You're going about your fishy business. You're eating algae or whatever. There's a big storm. You're kind of sucked back and forth a little bit. You feel it. It makes it a little harder to nibble algae. But like waves are not breaking on you. Yeah. And so waves are not breaking on you down there. And so when people look at this thing, they sort of make this kind of couple of mistakes. They're like, okay, we elected Trump, so Trump's in power. I'm like, well, if you took that phrase literally and you said Trump is in power, for example, Trump is the chief executive of the executive branch. One way philosophically to think about this question is, how much power does Donald Trump personally have over this executive branch? That's a hard thing to measure, but one way to measure this is to know that it has two endpoints. So he could have no power, or he could have complete power. He could have 0 or 1. So where is he in his power over the executive branch, which constitutionally is under his complete control? Where is he in terms of his power over this organization? Is he closer to 0 or closer to 1? So one way to ask that question is to say, well, could we increase his power by 10 times? Could we make the White House 10 times as powerful over the executive branch? Very easily. Could we imagine, at that point, we're reaching the powers of, say, LBJ? Could we make the White House 100 times as powerful over the executive branch? At this point, we're up to the powers of FDR. So, people think when they vote for Donald Trump that they're voting for the same job that FDR had. They're actually voting for like 0.01% of that job, which is a really serious, that is a really serious misinterpretation of reality.
Yo, that is fucking crazy. Legit. I'm not sure exactly fucking how that ended up happening. Let's keep this 100, right? I don't know how that ended up existing, but it did. And yo, Tucker's awesome. Legit, Tucker is on the internet. He is out here watching, because I have not seen anything that Yarvin has done that has more than 20,000 views. That means Tucker is into the fucking side of the internet where we're at. Tucker, if you listen to my brother, legit, thank you. It's appreciate. Yo, hammer this point home. The cathedral, the cathedral, the cathedral. It's the best thing I've ever motherfucking heard. Like, yo, it's amazing. This is the greatest thing ever. It's Tom P's with Pnoid News. Y'all know the deal. Like, share, and subscribe. Make sure that bell's rung. Hit all, homie. You know what I mean? Because, like, YouTube ain't handing out notifications. Peace.